Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Channel Dad Bryon Lape Reads, the pop culture section. I was debating whether this was a brain muffin at the movies, but Star Wars is in Lucasfilm's more than just the movies. We have TV shows, we have games, we have toys, we have everything. So this is a rumor that I have heard off and on for 2 years. I mean, there were people claiming they had inside information that Iger was pissed off in the conference calls and Kathleen was done. 2 years later, Kathleen's still around, and I really think she'll be gone eventually. She's going to retire. She's going to say, "Okay, I'm done. I did my part. I've accomplished what I wanted to do, and I'm going to ride off in the sunset." So we recently had rumors that she was on the outs, and I was like, "No, I don't believe it. I don't. They're not going to fire her. The optics for Disney looks too bad." Okay, there would have to be a huge change in the whiny culture for her to get removed. So here we have, it's not getting pushed out of Lucasfilm, and there's no internal civil war. This comes from, it's LRM Online. I don't know what LRM stands for, but anyway. So, I mean, again, still take it with a grain of salt, but I really think this is the truth. I don't think there's any real internal strife. There might be some disagreements on where to go, but not to the point that they're going to just disband everything. They're not going to uncanonize the sequel trilogy. None of that's ever going to happen. Okay. Ever since Star Wars: The Last Jedi, there have been rumors aplenty about Lucasfilm president Kathleen Kennedy. Given how little fans seem to care about the sequel trilogy, I can understand the desire to change leadership. While I don't necessarily agree that the sequel trilogy was bad, save for Skywalker, I do think there have been some bad steps from up top in terms of director retention. Now she's fired more directors than who have finished movies for her. Okay. I think 2-1, right? She's had essentially four directors who have finished movies, because Ryan and JJ are the only they finished their movies. She fired the creative differences with the third film. Gareth Edwards didn't get to finish his movie, and she fired the guys from Solo movie, and that was so who knows. There have been rumors in recent weeks surrounding a supposed civil war between Kennedy and creatives Jon Favreau and David Filoni, and more recently there's been another one that revolves around Kennedy exiting and being replaced by George Lucas, and it's not going to happen. According to said rumor, Lucas is desperate to return and save Star Wars. Yeah, I think he wishes he wouldn't have sold it, but he's already called Disney the white slavers. I don't see him walking that back well enough. I'm here to say that our own sources that within Lucasfilm say very differently. More specifically, they say there is no talk about Kennedy leaving anytime soon. I believe that. At present, she has her attention focused on the film side of things over at Lucasfilm, while Favreau and Filoni are focused on Disney Plus content. I believe that too. And I think that's why they're able to do what they need to do with the Disney Plus. It's, The Mandalorian in many ways works because it's a series. You don't have to you can tell a much larger story over many hours as opposed to a 2.5 hour movie. Now that's not to say that she won't leave when her contract ends in 2021. That's obviously still possible, but contrary to popular rumors, they aren't in a mad scramble to shove her out the door. I think that they got over that a while ago. As I've stated before, I can see why fans would glom on the rumors of her leaving. They want her to leave so they can get Star Wars films they want. I think that's part of it. And part of it is we want films that we don't want to be, those fans have been insulted by it's not just necessarily what they want. It's just the insulting nature that's come out. As a result, there are plenty of outlets and YouTubers out there who prey on desperate fans. I don't think so. I think they're just pissed off. They fabricate news in an effort to capitalize. Okay. So do you have proof they fabricated? Okay. I think some of these rumors just get started somehow and then they just grow and no one's sure where they come from. Oh, it's someone inside of Lucasfilm. Cause I've some of them, I've had people say that they know people inside Lucasfilm. Well, we never know how things will pan out in the world. So this is swinging the pendulum back the other way too far. It should just stay in the middle. I'm sure there's some internal strife. I'm sure there's some things that people are grumbling about, but it's not enough to bring down and crumble the empire. Okay. It is just, there's probably disagreement on what to do. There's probably some people who are kind of annoyed that they've pissed off the fans and kind of spat on the fans with the sequel trilogy and especially the Solo movie. And it's like, hey, why don't we, do some Star Warsy stuff instead of, we can still weave our politics into it. I highly doubt there's anyone who wants to say, let's get the politics completely out of it. Although Favreau seems to be he just wants to tell good stories. That's what he did with Iron Man. While we never know things pan out in the real world of entertainment, I urge everyone to utilize common sense when looking at news. The common sense, oh God, there is no such thing as common sense, okay? If there was, it would be common. It isn't. I just believe something because, again, take it, just, look at it with a critical eye is what I would say. I wouldn't even trust it. Just kind of try and verify it and not just necessarily repeat it. I did a video previously. I've even stated on podcasts that when all this was going down, I said, I don't believe it. I don't think Kennedy's going to be gone over this. She's going to be allowed to, the optics are too bad. Well, if you look at Disney, the only way she gets canned and the sequel trilogy becomes uncanonized is if Disney sells it. Disney never sells anything. Okay. They would have to basically go completely and utterly bankrupt. And there may be some of that panic because they're not making the money off of Star Wars they thought they were. But I think a lot of that was nostalgia goggles. I'm not so sure Lucas made as much, especially adjusted for inflation off of the prequels as he did the original trilogy. Plus it had been 20 years. So who knows? Regardless of what sources are telling us, Kathleen Kennedy is fine at Lucasfilm and can basically leave whenever she wants. I think she's going to be allowed to retire. If there are, let me say this, Disney could push her out if there are way too many failures, but there would have to be public failures that she's the spokeswoman for, which she isn't going to do. She's not going to put herself out that far. And then she would just be, that would be the creative differences the other way around, where she would be allowed to retire. Oh, she's going to retire on that. And that happens quite often. It happens a lot in sport with sports teams, I didn't believe the rumors as much as, there's a Daz ad. That's awesome. But I'm not willing to swing the pendulum back the other way. I think there is some discontent, but I think right now it's not determined if it's healthy or unhealthy. Because if you have a difference of opinion and you're allowed to express them, they could, on a positive note, figure out where all the barnacles are, get rid of them, and come up with much better ideas. And the movies and such moving forward are leaps and bounds better than what we got with the sequel trilogy. I mean, the Rogue One gave a hint that Disney could do a decent movie. Okay, now Rogue One has lots of problems, and I still want to see the Gareth Edwards cut. I want to see the original movie still. There's too much Disneyfication that they force fed into it, and that's where it falls apart. But of the 5 Disney films, it's head and shoulders the best. The rest of them are bad all the way, to mediocre to terrible. I mean, Solo, I haven't even gotten halfway through it. The Last Jedi is garbage. The Rise of Skywalker is an absolute unadulterated mess, and The Force Awakens is just a bunch of fluff. It's not even a movie. It's just an advertisement. So, they could have the right kinds of disagreements, come together, put down their absolute wants, and let's make the best thing possible and be far more productive and really wow the fans. Or they could go the negative route, and in which case it's just going to keep burning. So we'll see. But yeah, that I agree with parts of this article, and I disagree with other parts of it. It doesn't have a bio, or there it is. Joseph Jammer Medina. My goodness, I can't read. But anyway, what do you think? Let me know in comments below. Thanks so much for stopping by. Thanks for subscribing. Oh, there are comments. Oh, wait a minute. Forget it. The article will be linked below. Click it and find out, maybe leave a comment there saying what you think of Joseph's article, whether you agree, disagree, or not. Thank you very much, and we will see you. Goodbye. All right, is it working? All right, we're recording. All right, 3, 2, 1. No, that's all on my right. Hold on. All right, 3, 2, 1.